Well, I got this Black Seal heavy duty stuff. Bitumen waterproofing membrane to put on the bottom of the camper. And you have to keep it dry for 72 hours, and in Melbourne that can be a bit of a problem. So, big tent, or awning, or gazebo, or whatever you want to call it. I've had it for a while, but I broke the small one, so here we are. I'm going to mix up this stuff. I've read the instructions a little bit. I don't have a paint tray. Could be a problem. I'm gonna have to go get a paint tray. Well, I actually read the instructions on this one, so I know what I'm doing. I've tried. Seems mixed to me. I was totally engrossed in the whole painting thing and forgot I was making videos, so static shot of me just ripping away at it, I guess. I'm gonna go and have some dinner. Needs about 2 hours before I can put another coat on anyway. Let's go have a look at it, and then I'll go make dinner. Yeah, looks a bit ratty and patchy, and not sure I was putting enough on at a time. Seemed to be going on pretty thin. You can't really see anything, it's just black. Yeah, so probably not even worth looking at it. I do have to come back and do all the edges though as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go have dinner. A couple of hours. If it's not raining or too windy, I'll come back and do it. Well, it's been 3 coats, and it seems to have cured pretty well. I found one little soft patch where there was quite a bit of build up. Maybe a drop of the bitumen went down, and it's been drying, but it's all right. I haven't done the inside of the wheel wells because that's going to get done, and I'll finish off this edge as well once I flipped it over, and I'm going to have to paint the inside of the wheel wells. And probably do the back as well, but yeah, for now I've got to get it flipped over, and I've got to try and do it gently. Before it falls off. There we go. Move it across. That way. Yep. And on the ground. Yep.
Buddy.
So then we're going to stand this up against those, and then we're going to put it this side down. Yeah. Missed the soft bits, but that's alright. Yeah, it's going to want to slide. So if I take all the weight from here. So just put the base down on some wooden slats so I wasn't scratching up the bottom while I was sliding it around. And I'm just going to stick a couple of random bolts in. Not really.
Couple?
Yeah. Things are hard to cut. I did find out with the Sawzall that they're pretty easy to cut, so I'll give that a go. Oh, look at that. What are these? Might not be as easy. Yeah, I really don't need these to be waterproof anyway. I don't need to totally seal them up because I'm building a box around them and the inside of the box is going to be waterproof. And I have allowed for 270, which is well above the wheel well, so I should be able to should fit together nicely. Also, I marked on this bit of wood how high the awning is once it's in, and we know it fits in that hole, so that's definitely big enough to be fitting in there. And yeah, pretty much once it's all buttoned up, I should be able to fix those seams there, and water should stop getting in anyway, so that'll be good. It'll be awesome. Oh, it's getting windy and the storm's brewing up. Did what I wanted to do, and that's all I wanted to do was just get those wheel wells on and just have a look at it, get the base flipped while there's someone else around to help me, so I wasn't like scratching the crap out of it while I was trying to get it up there. Yeah, so up until now I haven't really thought about how all this stuff goes together, so I did quite a bit of design work last night, and I might take you through it now. So here's the sort of first concept drawing I sort of came up with. It's you know, your typical square drop shape with solar panels on the roof and a window in the door and a bit of storage underneath. I just really wanted to work out what I wanted in a camper and how it all sort of fit in there. So you know, the whole pass through on this area here, and also the storage underneath. So it should all look familiar from everything I've done so far. Also, like, you know, the rear area with the fridge and batteries, and I don't really know where I'm going to put everything. Some cabinetry, you know, that sort of thing. Some really minor detail of how all the framing is going to go together, but you can see that underneath it's plywood. There's no actual structure under there. There's no rigidity, no sort of thought of how it's all going to go together, but it's just sort of a concept. So here is the more detailed framing. As you can see, there's a lot more involved than what I had before. But it's still all the same elements, really. So yeah, the old the pass through here and the storage area underneath, the wheel wells, and the kitchen area at the back. And you can actually see from this view here how much storage there will be underneath. How much of that is going to be accessible with the fridge in the way, I don't know, but we'll work it out. And sort of the scale of the interior with the bed there, you can see how much room there's going to be. So I'm still working on the finer details of the inside, but as for putting the structure together, this is what I've come up with. And I started by, if you look underneath, modelling the complete frame of the trailer. So that's the trailer, and then the thin line there is the plywood that's on there, and you should see the familiar rails that I put on there. So from that I expanded it just a little bit, so we can see it in more detail. And this is sort of what I came up with, and I don't know if it's overkill, but I do want it to be solid because I want it to last for a long time and not shake itself apart when I'm driving down the road. So what you might notice here is these uprights are missing here, also here, and at the back. Because what I was actually planning on doing is, in the top part of it, is having the uprights, for the most part, running all the way down to the floor and attached, so that all of the structure that's built will be solid and together, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's basically this is a materials breakdown of what I'm going to be using, and sort of a map. Not 100% sure yet how it's all going to go together, but sort of a map of how things will connect together. So this is what I'm going to be working off, and you can see right here that 270 upright is what I've been working off between sort of top and bottom of the storage area. So that's what we got. I've actually got a plan. So I'm going to probably start cutting all the bits of wood for it, and then sort of laying it all out, mocking it all up first, making sure I've got the right amount of wood, because once I start building this thing I'm not going to have the trailer to go and get the wood with, unfortunately. Maybe it'll fit my car. I have to test that. That's what I was going to do. I'm going to do that now. Technically it fits in my car. Might be a problem with it sliding forward and hitting the windscreen. So yeah, next video is going to be cutting up all the wood to build the storage area and the bed base. It's going to get confusing, but I'm going to power through it. It's going to work. It's going to be fine. It's going to be good. It'll be alright, I hope. Maybe. So yeah, it's now Saturday morning, bright and early, and we're going to start cutting some wood to get all this done. I did make a cut list, so let's have a look at that real quick. So I do have a plan here with some measurements on it, which I'm going to use. First of all, I'm going to get a tape measure and just double check that the measurements of that do correspond to this, and then I'm just going to get cutting. Also, I have totally changed my mind on these guards. The lip is actually causing quite a bit of gap, and I'm worried that it's going to throw all the measurements out. So I'm going to be taking it off, and all these parts that are supposed to be going under between sort of the frame and the ply, I'm going to bend down and actually mount along the frame on the inside of the wheel well. So yeah, so the base will actually fit flat, because as you can see here, it's creating quite a gap, and I think I should have tried and avoid that at all costs. Also trying to work out a way to make repeatable cuts. And I think that ought to do it. That's actually, yeah, something like that anyway. So having never done this before, I'm actually thinking the best way to do it would be to cut the long bits first and then use the offcuts graduating down to the smallest. Because in my mind, if I just get one bit and I cut it up into lots of little sections, I'm just going to be wasting wood. I should be using offcuts. So I think the way it works in my mind is if I cut all the large ones, they're 1930, it's a 2000, 1930. If I cut all those and then start doing the ones that go along, because I think they're less than, we've got 1, 2, maybe 2.2 meters or so for these long ones along this direction, and then end up doing the 32 smaller ones, which are 270. So yeah, start with the biggest ones first and then use offcuts for all this stuff from there and see how far we get, and Bob's your uncle, I guess. Well, this is why we double check measurements, especially when you're dyslexic, because 1390 is a lot different to 1930, indeed. So yeah, double checked, process averted. Yeah, so from my drawing on the front and these two bits in here, I need what is it, 35 width to have the upright coming up from there, so they're 1930. So yeah, just a sanity check that. Fit this guy in there. Yes. Guy's flush in there, so that's what I'm after. I'm going to carry on with this, and there's just going to be a whole lot of measuring, cutting and fitting, and while I'm doing that, you might as well listen to some music.
Oh! Oh, wow! Yeah! Music!
Do you remember when we were young? Everything was just for fun. I guess you thought it was all wrapped up for you. Wasting time just to get away, till we had nothing left to say. And all those eyes that we knew were almost true. Dreaming of what was meant to be, living life unexpectedly. This was something we all could hold on to.
of it's connected at the moment. It's just all sort of sitting there. Yeah, there's a couple of things that aren't quite right, and I can't quite work out why between my drawing and corners like this, where I have to be able to attach some plywood inside the wheel well. So I've left some exposed parts and others not exposed, and I don't know how I've messed up so bad, but you know, this sort of stuff, unless I was just supposed to connect it top and bottom, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go over the plan again, but I've pretty much got it, I think. But yeah, stiff breeze could blow this all over, so yeah. So storage, one storage box where the awning goes, right through there. These are all going to have to be pocket screwed in through the top there, through those as well. But once I've done that, for those, yes, for these ones, I want to do both. I want to pocket screw them in, and also want to drill down into this so it's solid. Apart from a couple of mistakes, it's not looking bad. But yeah, I've got to work out what's going on, because also I think this gap here, I thought I was cutting them bad, but I don't think so. I think what's happened is, like what I was explaining earlier, was when I've got these guards and they're sitting between the frame and the plywood. See, that's the sort of gap it makes over here, and if that's raising it up here, then I should probably expect that sort of gap in the middle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take those guards out, and I can't do it without dismantling all this stuff. So yeah, this will be interesting. Also, it's after 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's way too hot to be outdoors. It's well, I think we're heading for like 30s, mid-30s today, so I'm going to pack up and go inside. And I did edit some of this video already, and I think this will be enough to finish it, and we'll start putting this stuff together on the next one. So thanks for hanging around, and I'll see you next time.